X-Shop and X-Workers of Reddit. What are some of the best examples or clients not knowing how anatomy X works? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will stop the video here. First one that comes to mind is having to explain to a gentleman that the reason his wife doesn't enjoy toys probably has something to do with the fact he was cleaning them with Clorox wipes beforehand. And numerous explanations that anal beads are not ripcords and your partner likely isn't a lawnmower. BEYBLADES. Let it RIP. Former X-Shop worker here. I'll tell a story that kind of fits this. At our store we sold an array of dildos. Some gag gifts, all shapes and sizes and colors etc. The largest one by far was called the Great American Challenge. It is a purple behemoth that I'm fairly certain is girthier than my arm. I'm a skinny guy. One day this guy comes in asking for a big gag dildo for his friend. I show him the big cheap ones. They are about $20, but large. Still smaller than Great American Challenge though. He says he wants something even bigger. I tell him there's nothing bigger that's in that price range. He then asks to see the bigger ones anyway, regardless of price. I show him the Great American Challenge and tell him the price is $70. Dude gets wide-eyed and buys it right away. He says, and I quote, "This will be great gag gift as a paperweight." Now we get the gag gift cover up quite often. Girls use it all the time to buy for bachelorette parties. You aren't fooling anyone ladies. But this guy using it with our largest dildo was not surprising. I assumed, however, that he knew what he was doing. About an hour later I get a call from what is clearly the same guy. I know it's him, because he says he just bought a purple dildo from us that is very large. And that's only the Great American Challenge. We sell them once every couple months at best. He asks me what's the best way to use it. Confused I ask if he has any prior experience with smaller toys. He says no. This is his first time. I advise him to not use the toy and start smaller. And say that's about all the advice I can give you. He then one-ups himself and asks if he needs lube or if petroleum jelly is good enough. Of course you need lube, what the frick man, I reply. He says, well I don't have any, damn. Guess I'll just wing it. Thanks for the advice, and he hangs up. I don't know whatever happened to that guy, but I'm assuming he ended up in the hospital with quite the story. No idea how it got that far up my ass. Doc, I must have slipped and fell. My best friend was an ER doc. He used to say the human anus must have an incredible targeting sense based on all the times people slipped while naked and accidentally fell on various objects at just the right position and angle to perfectly insert them. Working in an operating room, I can agree with your friend. Pulled a glass ketchup bottle out a few weeks ago. Guy said I was eating a hot dog in the shower and slipped and fell on the bottle. Gotta give him some credit. That is an amazing story. I worked at a X-Shop for like 3 years, and the thing that irked me the most were people who were willfully ignorant about lube. Even after I'd explain why it's good for you, they'd be like, no a-holes here, that's for old ladies. For either anal or PPLX, it's there to reduce friction and make it more comfortable, safe. Men and women have this misconception that if a woman cannot produce enough moisture on her own, then there's something seriously wrong with her. It's actually very common for women of all ages to use lubricant from time to time, either because they're nervous, inexperienced, having very rough X, or because their bodies simply don't produce that much. It would hurt me to think of all the women, especially inexperienced ones, getting their canals just freaking shredded because men or other women are shaming them for needing lube. Working there taught me that a surprising amount of people are very stupid, selfish lovers. Be careful out there folks. I had an ex who hated lube. She wanted me to fist her, and when I'd try to lube up she'd ask me to towel off my hand because it's too slippery. I want to really feel it. I've got huge hands, by the way. I had a guy who wanted to meet up for full service, but said he didn't want me to be disappointed by how small his dong was. He said, "Don't worry though, I'll bring a banana for us to use so you'll still be satisfied. Keeping your potassium levels up is important." This is the funniest thing I've read on this thread so far. I hope you ate the banana. customers firmly placing their thumb above my pubic bone, not moving it, watching me have literally no reaction, and then believing that they brought me to orgasm by doing that. That is a step beyond treating the clitoris like a button to smash. B. Boo. But why else would it be called smashing? S. I involuntarily read this Nigel Thornberry's voice and I hate it. I forgot that this post was also asking for ex-workers to comment and I thought you meant a ex-shop customer and I was like Jesus Christ. Still wild though. Ex-shop worker here. I answered a call from a man who had purchased a sounding device. It goes in your urethra if you didn't know. He couldn't get it out. I asked him if he'd used lube and he told me no and that it was starting to hurt. He asked if he should yank it. I just had to tell him to contact his doctor. I hope he got it out. How did he get it in there without lube? I actually can't imagine that. I mean he wanted to yank it out, so probably with a lot of force and a belt between his teeth. I need a belt between my teeth to just read this. Oh god, why would you not use lube? One more. I had a daytime regular named Terry. This was 20 years ago, but I'll never forget this old guy's name. He would stop by for 10 minutes, grab a VHS from the bargain bin and attempt to flirt with me while checking out. One day I noticed Terry is in the male enhancement section and he's been there a minute. I wander back and ask if he has questions. He is holding a peanuts pump and very seriously asks if I could handle something that big. I laughed out loud. That usually shut down any advances, but Terry kept at it. He told me there were obviously women who could handle it or we wouldn't sell them. Then Terry told me that his dong no longer got hard, but if he were able to keep suction on it while he put the toy himself inside a PP, that just might work. He never came back into the store after his purchase that day. Maybe it worked. Or maybe some woman killed him for trying to shove a fricking peanuts pump inside her. There are both pills and wearables for that. No need to resort to inserting the entire peanuts pump. That's not my bag, baby. One copy of my Swedish-made peanuts enlargement pump and me. That kind of thing is my bag, baby. Kinky is using a feather. Perverted is using the whole chicken. This doesn't quite count, but kind of, before the twist ending. So I worked in a Rex shop when I was 18. They had a staff party and being the new recent hire, I had to stay and maintain the shop. Fair enough. Senior maid junior must. I get this girl come in at like 10:30, half hour before closing. She wants a dildo, but says she's never bought one before and needs assistance. Sure. I mean, I hadn't even owned one myself, but I had been there a month or so and had read the packaging while stocking, so I knew a bit. Also, we were encouraged to look up ex-toy related articles on the work computer during slow periods. So okay, we go over. She says she's looking for something without vibration as that doesn't do much for her. Straight up dildo. So I show her a few, but she's not interested. Bigger, she says. My ex was big and I need something similar. I miss him. Okay, so we go bigger. I'm pointing out 7-inch dongs and whatnot and she's like no, bigger. So I point out a honking 8-inch one. She sighs and hems and haws and then says no, bigger. What about this one? Near the bottom of the rack was something with a name relating to a horse. I can't remember the actual name. It was like an 11.5-inch long dildo. Not only is that most certainly a fetish thing and definitely not something her ex had, this girl was like 5 feet and 100 pounds. But that's what caught her eye. So me, being all professional, but internally thinking that you wanna die, I explain to her the size and the girth and give her a light warning of potential medical hazards if used improperly. She breaks out laughing. And then my bosses walk in. Turns out she worked there as well. But since we were a one-person staff establishment, I had never met her. She was sent in as a joke, her phone on the whole time so the owners could hear what I did when this tiny-ass chick asked for a horse cock. Well, congratulations on passing their professionality test. Damn. I even told her the risks of using silicone-based lubricant on silicone horse dongs. I got a shining star for customer service. Your supervisors realized they'd found a polished diamond while digging through coal. Now they were actually shoot employers and I left soon after. I can return this, right? You guys can just clean it and put it in a new pack again or whatever. If the industry worked like that, everyone would have hepatitis. Gross. No. I received this blow up doll as a joke gift, and for a joke I blew it up and tried to frick it, but it's really uncomfortable and doesn't feel realistic at all. It's just for a joke though, so I really don't want it anyway. I would never use it, I just tested it. As a joke. Sure, buddy. Sure. One blessed girl, studying the bondage rope with a furrowed brow and tiny frown. How do you get the guy's cock inside you with all the rope tied around it? Try this premium brand of lube. What kind of peen are you watching? Exactly. My partner wants a toy, but I'm insecure with the idea of them fricking a piece of silicone that doesn't look like my crotch. Look at this photo of my genitalia and help me find something to match. They always had genital warts. And they always ended up buying either the tiny teen pocket pussy with no discernible labia, or the 11 inches ramrod with huge juicy balls. How we delude ourselves. A memorable old guy who walked with a cane and paid for his bi-weekly $2.5 DVDs with hundreds and only hundreds. I want to see close-ups of pussies, but I want your guarantee that there will be no visible anus in any shot in this film. If you won't guarantee that I won't see something I won't like, I will never shop here again. If you're not willing to get within 3 inches of a beehole even in your fantasies, you're never going to. Oh, I see why you need the peen. Very obviously 30 plus yo dude, sobbing openly. My mum will murder me if she finds out I bought a dildo. Please help me find something I can put in my ass without her knowing. I sold him an anarus plug, but I'm concerned about why his mum had such vigilant access to his beehole. Countless dudes buying black rhino pills. This is supposed to make your dong bigger and let you frick way longer. Countless women buying numbing lube, spray, cream. This is supposed to make his dong feel smaller and make it so you can get it over with way faster. Anyone shopping for a Hitachi? I heard these will make your clit die, go numb, lose nerves, fall off. They all bought one eventually anyway. They always had genital warts. How was this known? Pictures. Shudders. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will stop the video here.